Our guest, thank God, Scottie Nell Hughes, who, by the way, is truly a beauty and a brain. Scottie Nell Hughes, welcome to Chicago and 1590 at a blistering 10 kilowatts. Scottie Nell Hughes, what's going on with this email thing? I'm very interested in your take, in part because I wonder whether the whole business is not a setup, a red herring, a false flag, another purpose-designed New York Times scheme to get Republicans to blow their proverbial snow early in the game so that Hillary is untouchable, a kind of an inoculative enterprise.
Dear Franklin, once again, you're too smart for radio because I think you hit the nail on the head. As we're sitting here and all of us holding our bated breath, I mean, every news channel right now is focused on Hillary Clinton at the United Nations, which, by the way, she's out of office. I would love to know why she still gets this sort of, presidential state treatment at the United Nations where she can hold her press conference there. Trust me. First of all, everybody knows this has been going on. Everybody knows that she had a local email. If you ever got an email from Hillary Clinton that's hillary@clintonsrock.com, I think you know that that's not a government email address. I'm just saying. And the reason why we're talking about this is because the Clintons want us to talk about it right now. It's completely what it is.
I agree with you. I think it's too early. And as far as why she hangs out in these international circles, I believe she's fundraising. This is what they do. The Clintons were really the first executive family to understand that raising foreign money was the key. And of course, the legacy of that is the for some reason. By the way, you're better poised than anyone to make sense of this. Now it's the Bill, Hillary, and Chelsea Clinton Foundation. Who does that? I mean, it's not like what you got to name all the kids or something. Like, what are they putting a little tiara on their daughter early? What's the purpose of this? But in any case, the Clinton Foundation is the funnel for all of this money, and evidently she's got money to raise.
She's got, for some reason, and it's not just for a really cool grandmother knapsack that she wants embroidered. The key is about this is that the Clintons realize they want to get all their scandals out right now because, unfortunately, with the electorate that usually follows that line, they need the next 10 months to put her on the front cover of Good Housekeeping, maybe put her on the Today Show. Maybe she will make an opinion and maybe she'll turn around and go on Comedy Central. They need the next 10 months to Hollywood their voters. We're talking about this now because they know it would come out eventually. They want it to happen. They want it to go away. And unfortunately, the track record is it usually does.
In order to understand things as we analyze media, it's always good to have a locus or even just a point of a central point. And you do a great job at this at the Tea Party News Network because you see things from a particular perspective and a particular organization among other organizations. Tea Party News Network, Scottie Nell Hughes. As you scan the media around you, sort of as a sort of panopticon, what are you seeing? Where are we going compared to where we were 5 years ago? Where is the Tea Party and Tea Party thinking today in a realm of rhinos, cruises, walkers, etc.? What's on your mind when you watch Fox News at the end of the day and you say, this is what's going on in America today?
Well, here's what's great about what I do. I am an opinionated journalist. You're not going to get just the facts from me. You're going to get an opinion. Now, in my world, it's the facts, but I will be the first to tell you I am an opinion journalist. When you read TPNN, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be getting the facts with opinion in it. Today's journalists, the problem is we've lost that idea of folks identifying themselves as being opinion. So folks watch NBC, they watch Brian Williams, they watch CBS, ABC, and they think, ooh, these are the facts. Unfortunately, they've had opinion interlaced into that. So, as I sit here and I watch the media today, one of the main things I want to make sure that I like to do is educate folks. You'd think it'd be, common knowledge, but now it's educate folks. What are you listening to? Are you really listening to the facts, or is there opinion somewhere interlaced in there, just like what we've seen with Common Core and education, Obamacare, when you go and you sign these forms for your doctor these days? Everything has an opinion or has some sort of, honestly, at this point, progressive take it. As I look at the Tea Party movement going forward, I am actually very optimistic if we can get our acts together. If we can stop fighting, if we can stop these witch hunts going after each other, because all it's doing is dividing us. And when we're divided, we're not strong. When we're united, I can guarantee, and we have lots of issues to unite behind, we are more than they are. We are stronger than they are. But that doesn't play well into the liberals' hands or the establishment's hands.
Right. And by the way, I'm very glad you brought this question up of the media and media dieting, Scottie Nell Hughes. A few things are happening simultaneously, and knowledge of them really can help us be better, brighter, smarter people who enjoy life more and are happier fundamentally. And one of those things is to remember the days in which Americans laughed at the fact that the Russians were only really allowed one pro-government news outlet, Pravda and Izvestia, but really it was Pravda. And we laughed at Pravda. We said, can you imagine living in a society in which there's no contrarian, essentially anti-government view? And yet, within a very short period of time, we've embraced that very lifestyle, I guess, or media diet that we once eschewed. We laughed at it, and now we say, I'm a journalist. And you say, are you a journalist? Tell me about your media diet. He says, well, I read New York Times, and I watch MSNBC and CNN. And I say, well, we went to this, say, Ivy League school together. Do you watch Fox? Do you read Wall Street Journal? Do you pay attention to Newsbusters as a media analyst or Media Research Center? Do you pay attention to the works of Camera or any of the other fantastic Middle East, for instance, MEMRI, MEMRI, Middle East Research Institute? Do you watch this? No, those are contrarian, anti-government, vast right-wing, Republican, xenophobic, racist. And we see how far we've come, don't we, Scottie Nell Hughes?
We definitely do. And frankly, you and I come from the same background. I joke that we literally have a bachelor's of talk radio. And you actually are doing something with your bachelor's of talk radio and doing a very good job at it. But we always knew by the people that were our professors of this degree, we were always taught the difference between the opinion and to be honest with it. And that's how people have trust, is when you identify and you're honest with them. They don't shun you. They literally say, okay, at least you admit it, I know what I'm dealing with. That is how our side usually operates. Unfortunately, the other side, they refuse. It's like they love to stick their head in the sand and take things to you because this is face value, because it's easy for them, and it goes along with what they're already thinking in their selfish, progressive way. So it's very
right.
much a double
I'll give you a particular example, Scottie. I know that Christiane Amanpour and I have different politics, but I think she's masterful. I mean, she is really when she's on, she's an amazing broadcaster. But I know that if we were to have a Christmas dinner together, we'd have different ideas about the world and would stay away from certain topics. But I love to watch her and to see what she has to say. Conversely, if you ask a CNN watcher or viewer, if you can find one, what he or she might think of, say, Shep Smith or another, say, let's use, for example, Charles Krauthammer, who's another really, truly brilliant man on the airwaves today, they'd say, oh, that guy, I completely dismiss him. I've heard of his name. He's a nobody. He's a right-winger. So really, you have that sort of, it's as if there's a whole major, powerful segment of the population that is voting and determining who's our president, for instance, that is short one or two food groups in their head.
Well, they are. The only food group they have in their head is fruitcake, in my opinion. Maybe there's some nuts. Maybe nuts in there as a food group. No, you're completely correct, and it's the double standard. Unfortunately, it's that standard that's winning, Franklin. It's the way they're playing that's actually winning over and over again in politics. So we have to figure out how to play that same game without losing our soul to the devil. No minor things be defined.
Right, or maybe we have to play a different game. But these are real questions, and frankly, Scottie, they really don't have anything to do with politics. They have to do with individuality, with being an individual. and embracing real diversity, i.e., the differences between us.
Well, no, you're correct on that.
Yes.
Real diversity, when you look at that, you look at, what culture is allowed you. That is the one thing, if you want to look at the lemonade and all of the anguish that we have within the Republican Party and the GOP right now, is that nobody can say that we are all cookie-cutter Republicans, that we are all that 1% they tried to make it be in 2012. We are so diversified. We are the party of diversity because we're having these discussions a lot more immature in some areas, but we are having them out in public where the left, they all say the exact same thing, like Kool-Aid drinking robots, which I'm convinced some of them might.
Yet, may we not be conquered. This is the trick. May we not be divided and conquered. Scottie Nell Hughes, go to TPNN. That's Tea Party News Network. www.tpnn.com. TPNN.com. This is 5090 WCGO, Chicago's New Talk.